Hi, I'm here with new men's head basketball coach, Rylee Hernandez. Rylee, how are you today?
I'm doing great. Great to be here.
Great. You know, we've been trying to get set up an interview with you, like, this whole entire time since you've been, and we haven't been able to. But now we finally nailed you down, and it's pretty good because you're only a couple of weeks away from the season starting, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's been a whirlwind, just trying to get situated. You know, not only the professional life, but the personal life here, and starting to finally get a little bit closer to normal or having a normal day, and excited about that.
So let's for our fans out over there, they don't really know a whole lot about you, Rylee. Now, where are you from? Let's start from there.
Yeah, originally from St. Paul, Minnesota. Grew up there. Loved my time there, just being connected with family. Didn't realize how much I wasn't a city guy, city boy. Until I left there and left and really haven't gone back. Haven't gone back to live in that area. I've been in smaller towns. Went to a community college myself, Vermillion Community College.
Okay.
Then went to Lakeland College in Sheboygan, Wisconsin, now known as Lakeland University, Division III private institution. Played basketball all those years. Was in leadership roles on those teams and in leadership roles on those campuses, and figured out that not only did I love higher education, but I love the thought of being able to help and help other people grow in an educational space and do so through sport.
Okay.
So from there, went to Williston State College.
Right.
Been there, was there for about 8 years, 8 or 9 years, and took on a lot of duties, a lot of responsibilities within the athletic department, educationally. Was an instructor. Was the head softball coach on a couple different occasions.
Right.
Overall, I think of 3 seasons. And then also head men's basketball coach, and took on a lot of administrative athletic duties. And got an opportunity to come down here, place for some familiar faces. Dan Artemenko, obviously my brother, Kenny Hernandez. Just having some familiar faces down here, and people I'd really tied to that had nothing but great things to say about this place.
Right. And Williston's in North Dakota, right?
Yes, Williston State College is in Williston, North Dakota, right on the border of North Dakota and Canada. So the weather change has been drastic.
Okay. Now, it's kind of a small town, right? I mean, would you say that's comparable to Liberal, Kansas?
Yes, a lot of similarities to the town. I think a lot of similarities to the people as well. I think up there, very similar. It's a place where the people make the difference, and it's a place just in very similar in towns and where you're located. You're kind of in a landlocked island, and I think that forces a community to be a community, as opposed to run to larger metropolitan areas. No, you're here, and you're here for the duration. You're here for your weekends, and you're here to be a member of this community, and it's been a great thing to see.
Do you think that was one of the things that attracted you to Seward? Is that the smaller community, the sort of more of a tight grip kind of community?
Absolutely. Knowing that you're not only going to see the same people inside these walls, but when you step out and you're in Dillon's, you're gonna bump into those same people, and their level of care is all the time. It's not just when they're punched in here as employees at Seward County Community College, but then also booster club members, community members, their feelings and thoughts towards this institution and our program specifically is all the time. It's not just sometimes, and that's a beautiful thing.
Right. And so talk a little bit about how you've been felt for it's been about 3 months since you're over here. How's been your move in?
Inviting is the best way to describe it.
Okay.
Between the athletic support staff, the other athletic head coaches here, and then admissions, registrar, student services, the amount of people that are here with arms open and with hands out saying, "Let me help, how can I help?" It's been really inviting, and it's been really welcoming and genuine. And I think that's the most important thing about a transition for anybody. And getting to live this experience allows me to have an insight on what our student athletes are being brought into every year as they're having change and they're stepping into a new environment as incoming freshmen or transfer sophomores. And the feeling that I felt is the hope and expectation of every one of our student athletes stepping in too, that feeling of being invited and welcomed and having a lot of people here to help is important. And it's seen and it's felt here, and that's exciting.
Okay. Transition's been pretty good?
Yeah, I think it's always unique to establish a culture, and establishing culture is got to be true and authentic to who you are. And I think for me, that's been that's a little bit different than where Coach Sauter was. Coach Sauter, an elite coach, a great man, and within that, he does some things a little bit different than I do.
Sure.
And so that's been something that we're working through, and that is a new challenge, an expected challenge. But some of those things also we've looked around and we've adopted. When you look at some of the things in place, I would say, just us coming together, some of the things that we break down on, we never broke down on in a program that I was a part of as far as together and everybody echo when we attack. But that's what we do here at Seward County, and that was something that was implemented by Jason Sauter, and that's something that has become a part of our culture moving forward. And that says a lot about the man that he is and the program that he's left us and left us with. And it's been a great thing. It's just a new challenge for me as the other institution I was at. I was already there, so the culture was very similar in all of the facets. So a lot of similarities, some differences, but that's been the most unique challenge, and I think it was expected. But it's a fun challenge as well.
Okay, so let's sort of talk about basketball, but also what we sort of about coaching philosophy for yourself. Let's start off with that, and not necessarily basketball, but let's say you talk about togetherness and such. So, what kind of philosophy do you sort of want to preach for your team?
Yeah, so I think the non-negotiables within our program is our energy, our effort, our communication, our cohesion, our togetherness, and I think it's really the next step from that is wishing the best for everybody in the space that we're in. So in our locker room, we're looking left and right and really wishing the best upon them. And whatever it is that we hope happens to us next, we need to hope and believe that it's going to happen to the guy next to us even more so. And we need to be excited about that.
Right.
And I think those pillars within our program, our energy, our effort, our communication, our cohesion, and that love for one another, those things are non-negotiables, and those are the foundations in which we're built. And for us, when we have that, we've had a lot of fun and we've enjoyed our time together, and we've all gotten something out of that year, and we've all gotten through something together.
Right.
And wins, losses, I think foundationally, when we take care of that, those things take care of themselves.
Okay. So let's talk about your coaching philosophy. Defensive, high energy, fast paced, short paced, Talk a little bit about that for you.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's when we talk culture. I think that's where there are some similarities and some differences. We're pretty fast paced.
Okay.
We want to get out, we want to go, we want to be able to get kick-aheads, we want to be able to get downhill, and we want to be aggressive to get our best shot as quickly as we possibly can. And what that looks like is everybody being aggressive for us and being aggressive inside their strength.
Okay.
So whatever that strength is, if it's knocking down the three, if it's getting downhill to make a play, if it's posting up on the block, whatever that strength is, we need to see it, and we need to see it as often as we possibly can for us.
Okay.
And sometimes that level of aggression can be hard for some people, and sometimes that level of aggression is easy for people. But that's the expectation offensively. So you're going to see a lot of quick reads, a lot of ball movement, and a lot of pace.
So a lot of up tempo. We can be a little bit faster this year.
Yeah, I think as it relates to last season, I think that is something that's new and unique to what'll be seen as opposed to what wasn't necessarily emphasized. The speed and pace is definitely emphasized this year as opposed to last.
Now, is that something that you've preached before over at Williston, or is that something over that you see the team and you're definitely we need to do this?
Yeah, I think that's a great point. For us, whenever we put our team together, with what we can coach. And I think we can coach some different things defensively, offensively, in a philosophy. But once your team's made up and you have your team and they're on campus, you got to figure out what's best for your team. We consistently have played with a lot of pace, and that's been something that we've done as a group and I've done personally and instilled as a head coach. But also, we have to look at our team, and then sometimes given our makeup, that might mean we need to change. And this year, yeah, we were able to put together a team that allows us to play and coach that way, but that's kind of a year-to-year decision.
Correct.
And you're definitely right about that. When it moves, this is how we want to move in an ideal world. I think for us, this is the best way for us to play. Defensively, when it comes down to it, we want to be aggressive. We want to be really up in you. We want to make sure that you're making quick reads and that you're making low percentage reads quickly as opposed to making quick reads for easy scores. So we'd like to see us be aggressive on the defensive end, flying around, high energy, a lot of communication, and failing inside of our concepts together. And then from there, trying to get that ball out and go the other way.
Okay. Talk about the team this year. You've got a couple of returning players. You got McCreary coming back. You got Eric Pratt coming back out over there. Are you going to look for them for leadership from those kids?
Yeah, absolutely. I think guys been through it before, seen it before. I think in a lot of ways, again, it's difficult for them, probably a little bit more difficult than it is for some of these guys that are just getting here for the first time. They see the same walls, they see the same gym. However new that floor is, it's still the same floor. It just got a little bit of a facelift. So it's kind of a difficult transition for them.
And that's absolutely phenomenal that you actually say that, because I think that people sort of look, people just sort of blend right in, but actually the sophomores who have been here actually have to relearn certain things, and it's sort of a kind of more, I won't say a burden, but it's more of a challenge for them.
Absolutely.
And I think that a lot of people don't realize that they expect those kids just to sort of take on it. That's a great perspective.
No doubt, and I think for us that we're fortunate in the guys that we have and that are returning and in who they are as people, in that they've been looking around recognizing some of that as well. It's like, oh man, this is goofy. I stay in the same dorms. I have the same instructors. I see the same people for the most part. But then we get on the floor and now we're being pushed in a little bit different direction in our philosophy. So really, yeah, we are leaning on them to lead because I do believe they know exactly what it looks like as far as this conference and for us to be successful. And for us, then it's allowing them to still learn and be led, and that's kind of a little bit of the challenge is I think when you're a returner, you're able to lead right away and not necessarily needing to be led as much. And right now, I think that's kind of a little bit of the new challenge for them is, okay, yeah, hold on, I better slow down a little bit here and understand this concept fully, and then help lead in that concept.
Right. So actually, you talked about, mentioned about the conference. Well, this will be a brand new conference for you. Do you expect any kind of differences going in? Jayhawk is basically, I would say, more physical. Not sure about the division that Williston was in.
So Williston was in the Region 13. Williston State. I think as a district, the district has a lot of programs that can compete, but overall, top to bottom, there's nothing like the Jayhawk Conference. And the challenges nightly and the physicality and the wear and tear that's on your body, it is so true to any of the levels, NCAA Division I, NCAA Division III. If you're going to look at one of the most elite conferences in the country at any level, you're going to see the similarities that the Jayhawk has. Every night's an absolute battle. The physical toll that it's going to take on your body to be there nightly, to step in on the floor night in, night out and be successful, it's a lot physically and mentally. But it's the level of preparation that this league brings student athletes to be able to move forward is unlike any other. And that's really unique, and it's really exciting for us.
Right. So let's end up with this. So what are your expectations for your first year and this year?
Yeah, I think our expectations are for us to be ironclad as a group, and for us to really establish our culture and really establish our expectations on and off the floor. We are who we are, up 20, down 20. We are who we are when days are good for us, days are bad for us. That consistency is something that is a pillar and is a non-negotiable inside our program. If you are a great person and you have a great heart, then letting an outcome affect your heart and who you are as a person is not true. It's not true to you. So the expectation is us to be able to establish that. Our belief is that we're getting there and that we can get there quickly. But whatever and whenever that happens, I think the rest of it will take care of itself. The ability to compete for a region title, the ability to compete for a national title. I think all those things hinder on us being present in our day and us being true to ourselves every day, even when things are not the best for us, even when we step out and we fail together and we fail at an alarming rate. Maybe the clock and the time and the score says that we were 40 points worse than our opponent that night.
Right.
Okay, but did we do that together? And if we did that together, we're making steps forward. And our expectation is that come March, we are as rock solid of a team that cares about each other in an unwavering way that allows us to step out and compete with anybody in the country. So for us, that's what our year one really looks like. And I think we have the people and we have the leaders, the returners in place that have great hearts, that care about one another, that have a servant leadership mentality, as well as our staff. That's going to help us get there pretty quickly. And I'm very optimistic in that. And we have made some really good strides. We're just not all the way there yet.
Sure.
But we're moving in a really good direction.
Now, one of the cool things coming up is that you guys have preview night. It's going to be on the 28th. I think it starts at 8 o'clock, and you'll have the Saints and Lady Saints out over there, but they get to see a little bit of what your team has to offer, huh?
No doubt. I think just as I'm learning about it, man, it's a whole event. It's awesome. The ability to have the community get to come out and see a lot of smiles on both sides as far as women's basketball and men's basketball. I think that's absolutely phenomenal. The job that Coach Todd Giacchetto's doing is awesome. It's fun to see the level of enthusiasm and enjoyment that his team has for the game and for learning. Is a lot of fun. I get to see that on a day-to-day, and not everybody else does. So it's pretty unique for everybody to get to see that and get to see both programs on one floor and see a lot of smiles on that floor over a game that they love, and enthusiasm to represent a program that everybody, women's and men's basketball alike, I think, are starting to grow to love as well. And those freshmen that are coming in are understanding the level of care and what it means to wear a Seward County uniform. And like I said, I think that's just the more I hear about it, the more excitement I get and what opportunity that brings for our community to get to see the type of people we have here.
Now, you don't have any scrimmages coming up. You actually go straight into conference play from this point on, correct?
Yeah, we're sneaking one in.
Okay.
So we've got Frank Phillips coming in on Saturday at 5 p.m.
Okay.
And that'll be open door, to my knowledge, the same way practice is.
Okay.
That's
Great.
a unique piece, too, here at Seward County, where practice is open, and it's open all the time. Come on in, sit down, and grab a seat, grab your popcorn, whatever it is.
So it's this coming Saturday?
This coming Saturday at 5 p.m.
23rd at 5 p.m. Okay, great. So they can come out, take a little bit of basketball action, get it going on. They'll be playing Frank Phillips, and then it won't be until I think November 10th, the second week, I believe, before you actually go over there. So this is
I
your
believe
first
it's the
time?
9th or 10th. It's that Tuesday.
Right.
Yeah. The one we have circled right now is November 1st at Hobbs, or in Hobbs, New Mexico, versus New Mexico Junior College.
Okay.
So that's the big one we got circled right now, and that's the first one, and excited for that, but also excited for that first one on our campus.
Right, okay. So since it's the first one actually that you guys actually play is actually November 1st.
Yep.
Okay, and again, come out this Saturday. You'll be able to get to see Rylee and Coach Hernandez and his Saints and see what you can expect for this new semester and season.
Awesome. Yes, no doubt.
All right. Coach, thanks so much. Great. Hope to have a great season this year.
Yes, thank you, Phil. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Yep.